happy weekend. It is Saturday. Oh man, we're super pumped because we got the one and only David Cade coming on the show. Man, I mean, just his name right there, he already sounds like an action star.
It's true. And this guy, though, he has got his stuff together. When you guys hear his story, it's so inspiring how he made his way into acting and what got him there. And now that he's there, his goals that he set for himself to get where he wants to be. So inspiring for all you up-and-comers out there, for sure.
Yeah, seriously, man. Seriously. And plus, we talk a little mafia. You know, we get a little crazy with the mafia. Yeah, it's fun stuff. It's fun stuff. Well, that's later on the show. Now, let's get a little crazy. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Crazy Ant Farm. Holy moly, we're on episode 167 this week, and oh boy, it's gonna be a fun one.
Man, action-packed. I mean action-packed because we got a lot of superhero stuff, as always.
Yes.
But it's HBO Max that dominated and not the Mouse House this time. Man, I know you're excited because that's your fave.
It
HBO Max
is. I mean, they have the best adult content. I mean, when I was making that tweet, I didn't want it to sound like any porn thing or anything. It's like the best film, like, geared towards adults. Like, I mean, I'm just saying, it's the best.
All I'm saying is, when we get through with the news, if you were worried about DC Universe, HBO Max might change its name.
Yeah.
There's so much DC content coming to HBO Max. It's crazy, man.
It's so great. It's so great. But you guys know your host with the most, myself, J-Lo Fantastic, and the one and only Mouse.
What's up?
Guys, we're super pumped, like we said, but before we get this thing started, be sure to head over to our website, www.crazyantmedia.com, where you can start rocking the latest and greatest Crazy Ant Media gear.
Yes.
The hats, the shirts, the sweatshirts, the tank tops, the beanies, the things for the dogs, toddlers, literally anything and everything for everybody, guys. It's great. It's absolutely amazing. Our next sale is in 3 days. Count them, 3 days, July 26th, and that's going to be free shipping. So, I mean, take advantage. Take advantage.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It really is. It really is. Well, I mean, of course, we got to start with Disney, and it's very interesting. It's very freaking interesting because everybody's been like, what's going on? So was releasing Black Widow in theaters and on Disney Plus simultaneously a good or bad idea by Chapek? That is the real freaking question. The first 2 weeks have shown mixed results. That is for sure. Black Widow dominated in its first weekend, like all Marvel movies do, smashing box office records, but dropped to second place on the box office charts last weekend, bringing it in just at $26.3 million. Now, that's representing a steep 67% decline in all the freaking sales. It's insane how this weekend will hold up. So far, Black Widow has generated only $141 million in North America and globally $273 million. So, and I mean, that's all 3 weekends combined. Now, it's going to be very interesting because there are some new movies coming out, and I mean, there's some popular action movies, but like I said, I don't know. For box office predictions, I think it's at least going to drop to number 4.
I don't know. It's going into this weekend. It's the number one movie daily. I don't know what happened last weekend. So it did not drop off the number one spot internationally. It stayed number one internationally. It was just in North America that it saw that weird dive. But if you look daily now, from Monday through Thursday going into this weekend, it was number one. It beat out all the other ones daily. So I don't know.
Right.
I mean, and guys, I mean, those numbers are pretty impressive, right? 240 something million. You know, it's definitely pandemic records coming out the wazoo.
For sure.
But it cost over $200 million to make, and for all y'all out there that don't realize, you have to make twice the production budget just to break even before you see profits. So this thing's got another $160 million it's got to make just to break even.
Yeah.
And then will it make profit? And if we continue to see nosedives like 67%, That's going to be tough. That's going to be. This might be the first Marvel movie that's not profitable.
Yeah, which would be crazy. And I mean, people are asking, what did Black Widow make on Disney Plus? Well, we have the answer for you because they actually released the number. It made $60 million on Disney Plus so far. Now, the studio declined to update that figure for the second weekend. That one was for the first weekend.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's all crazy, man. But I mean, they're showing a lot of attention towards the Mouse House with the with the release, but we have to think about Space Jam 2 on HBO Max as well. I mean, that one was also simultaneously released for free, not behind a paywall, and it's still looking like it might take second place this weekend. So I don't know, man. I think it's just Disney having some problems with that whole system.
I don't know. A lot of it had to do, I guess, with bootlegs. Apparently, it was bootlegged pretty heavily the first weekend, and so that played into it. I don't know. I mean, this weekend will be the test.
Yeah,
can
seriously.
it rebound or will it see another significant drop? That's going to be the question. I know Feige's fuming.
Oh, yeah, for
Feige
sure.
is like, this is not how it's supposed to be in the theaters, not on Disney Plus. We're giving you content for Disney Plus. The shows are whooping ass. Do that and let the movies be in the theaters where they're supposed to be. And I think if Feige has his way, he's going to make sure that happens.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, man.
But yeah, hey, this is interesting news though, and good news moving forward for Phase 4 because we haven't been talking about this one a lot. But apparently, Mogul Mowgli director Bassam Tariq is in talks to direct Marvel Studios' Blade movie. You know, the one starring Mahershala Ali.
Yes.
Now, in February, Watchmen writer Stacey Osset Kulfur was confirmed to write the movie's script, with Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige obviously producing because he's the mastermind behind it all. The long-anticipated reboot came together after Ali, get this if you didn't know it, made his own pitch to Marvel Studios and that he wanted to take up the superhero mantle of Blade. And apparently that was enough, and Feige said, hell yes. The film is currently undated, but is expected to be, like I said, part of Phase 4. So that means sometime over the next year and a half, 2 years, it will make its debut. So
that's exciting, man. I'm
is.
pumped about that one, especially his interpretation of the character. Blade's always been very interesting to me. I mean, you know, half vampire, half human, but also a vampire hunter. Like, I mean, that's pretty badass.
I mean, it is pretty badass. And Mahershala Ali.
Yeah, I mean, he's fucking gonna knock that shit out of the park.
And now see, that's a man who knows how to play his power too.
Yeah.
Back-to-back Academy Awards, right? And he's like, I'm gonna make a pitch,
right?
And you're gonna say yes.
Yes.
And that's not easy to do to Feige.
No.
But apparently it was for Mahershala Ali.
So
here's
funny.
my pitch. Say yes.
Yeah. But Black Widow and Blade aren't the only Marvel projects we'll be talking about on tonight's show.
No.
Oh man, the Black Panther sequel
There's a theme.
Yeah, right. The Black Panther sequel has added Michaela Cole to its ranks. Cole most recently released on the HBO series I May Destroy You, that was nominated for some Emmys, to critical acclaim for 4 Emmy nominations. Will join filmmaker Ryan Coogler's Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which is currently filming in Atlanta. It is expected that much of the cast, Marvel's first Black Panther film, which includes Naipa, the sister, Diani Gurugu and Latita Wright, Daniel Kaluuya, and Winston Duke will return. Basically everybody with great names. Coogler reworked the script following the star's Chadwick Boseman's unexpected passing due to colon cancer a year ago. It's crazy. It's already been a year.
I know.
The first Black Panther grossed a massive $1.3 billion worldwide at the box office, and Wakanda Forever is set for July 8th, 2022 release date. And no doubt, I think it's going to perform almost, if as well, if not better than the original.
It certainly should if they don't put it on Disney Plus.
Oh, damn, wham.
That's my opinion on Bob Chapek's decision. Don't put the movies on fucking Disney Plus. That's what the shows are for. I'm just saying. Just saying
That's
my
funny.
opinion. Now we got a little bit more movie news before we go back to Marvel news. The Marvel news that should be on Disney Plus, but we'll get to that in a minute. Bradley Whitford, I love fucking Bradley Whitford. Josh from The West Wing, Handmaid's Tale. He's been everywhere. This guy's epic. Apparently, he is set to join 20th Century's Rosaline. Now, this sounds very interesting. Apparently, it's a comedic and revisionist take on Romeo and Juliet that has Caitlin Dever, another one of my favorites, love her, attached to star. Isabella Marced is on board to play Juliet because she didn't get another role, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Merced is on board to play Juliet, and Kyle Allen will play Romeo. Now, the film apparently had been at MGM, but recently hit the market and was quickly acquired by 20th Century. This is interesting. Now get this. The script is a modern twist on the classic Shakespeare tale told through the eyes of Juliet's cousin, Rosaline, a sharp but idealistic young woman who happens to be Romeo's recent ex.
Oh, shit.
What begins as an attempt to foil the infamous romance and win back her guy becomes a journey of self-discovery as she ultimately works to help get the star-crossed lovers back together so they can kill themselves.
Oh, wow.
It didn't say that. I just added that because that's what happens. I mean, Caitlin Dever as the spurned ex telling the story. That's going to be fucking hilarious.
That's a very interesting premise, man. Yeah. Very interesting premise. Now, speaking of more Marvel news that he was referencing earlier.
That should be on Disney+.
Loki executive producer and director Kate Herron has been she's been a major force behind the project, I should say. Directed all 6 episodes. Says she will not be back for season 2, which is very interesting. In its statement, she said, quote, "I am not returning. I always plan just on for this, and to be honest, season 2 wasn't in the works. That's something that just came out, and I'm so excited, but I'm really happy to watch it as a fan next season. But I just think I'm proud of what we did here, and I've given it my all. I'm working on some other stuff yet to be announced, but at the time, it's just not right for her, which is unfortunate because if she directed the whole thing, why wouldn't you just let her know that you had plans for a season 2?
Yeah.
That sucks. Why didn't you try to rope her in as early as possible? That's unfortunate.
And I was watching Assembled, the behind the scenes making of these shows.
Yeah.
And apparently, I mean, the entire thing was based on her pitch.
Damn.
So, which was very funny because she says she was told by her agent, this is just a meeting. Do not go in there and pitch anything. It's just to say hello. It's just to say. And so she said, I said, screw that. I developed this whole thing about how I wanted to do it. And I went in there and I laid it out.
Go her.
And apparently it worked. So, but my point is the entire season was based on a pitch of her idea for Loki and what they had. So, I mean, not going forward on season 2, you would hope the next guy's stick with what she's done, because if not, that's going to be crazy. You don't want to fuck up something that's working really well, right?
And I mean, I think Loki was the most ambitious Marvel television project that they had put out so far. And I mean, Wanda was fucking crazy as well.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, Loki, and then having the same director throughout the whole thing, I feel like you need to keep that chemistry. You need to keep that vibe going. So I feel like Kevin Feige needs to hover over that one.
Well, and Kevin Feige was not kidding about the multiverse connection stuff. Have you guys seen the videos? Episode 6 of Loki and episode 6, the final episode of WandaVision, somebody laid them out and when Kang is doing his little description and he gets distracted, and he realizes something's happening in the multiverse that's getting ready to fuck everything up. It's when Wanda manifests her powers in the fight with Ash. And it's at the exact same time.
Damn.
It's 44 minutes and 26 seconds on the WandaVision thing. 44 minutes and 26 seconds on the...
That's so detailed.
Exactly.
That's
and when she throws Agnes to the ground, that's when he drops his pen.
Oh,
but
fuck.
it's so fucking
That's crazy.
It's mind blowing how that shit is. So when he turns and says, "Oh shit, something's going on in the multi," it's fucking Wanda setting up all the It's so fucking crazy, man.
Kudos to them.
I don't know how they do it, but they're fucking brilliant. That's what I'm saying. Just listen to Feige, y'all. Chapek, brilliant. Not so brilliant. Just listen to fucking Feige. He knows what to do. All right. Hey, Arrow alum, I'm super excited about this. Josh Segura has apparently joined the cast of Marvel's She-Hulk series. The one starring Tatiana Maslany in the title role. He joins a cast, as you guys know, because we've already told you, Renee Elise Goldsberry, Ginger Gonzagas, and of course, the man himself, Mark Ruffalo, who will be reprising his role as
That guy.
Oh yeah, Bruce Banner the Hulk.
The green guy.
Because She-Hulk can't exist without him. It's a blood transfusion if you're not a comic geek. Oh, that's how she gets the powers. Anyway, She-Hulk is a legal comedy that centers on Jennifer Walters, an attorney who has similar powers to her cousin because of a blood transfusion that she needed after an accident. Doesn't say that. I'm just telling you in case you don't know. She-Hulk series is directed by Kat Coiro. And Anna Valera and Jessica Goyo will be serving as head writer. It's unknown who Sagara will be playing.
Very interesting.
Oh, apparently this is like a lot of guest stars coming in and out, though. It's one of those type shows where each week there's going to be guest star and a lot of Marvel characters.
Makes sense.
I mean, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. Remember, possibly Kitty Pryde, which would mean the X-Men.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Kept under those comic book wraps.
That's right.
This next one, man, this one sucks because I feel like this thing just needs enough momentum to get out there. A lot of people are pumped for it, but it keeps getting like swept at the leagues. Disney Plus's upcoming Willow series has lost yet another director.
Yeah, what the fuck?
You might remember at the beginning of the year, we reported that John M. Chu had stepped down to the director position due to production schedule moving, continued lockdowns in the UK, and a new baby, and he signed on to like a Wizard of Oz project or whatever the fuck
yeah, oddly enough, right?
Well, now his replacement, Jonathan Entwistle, has stepped down and has been replaced by Stephen Wolfenden. According to sources, Jonathan left the project back in April, and his exit did not impact the production schedule. Now, Steven was already attached to the project as producing director, and it's been reported that he shot the first 2 episodes anyway, so it was kind of a natural, smooth transition for him to step into the role. Which is good, because like I said, a lot of people are pumped for this, especially a lot of 80s people. I mean, people with gray hair.
No hair.
Or no hair. Either or, pick your poison.
That's right.
Right. I mean, I wish the best for this thing, because I'm interested now.
I'm just curious from the get-go why they just didn't have Ron Howard come back to direct.
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, I don't understand.
He's a busy guy.
He is, and getting ready apparently to sell Imagine. That's the rumor anyway.
Crazy.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. This is very cool because we talk all the time about diversity and we need more Asian stories and more Asian actors and representation. Disney's doing a really good job. Lana Cho has secured a script sale with streamer Hulu for the drama American Soul, not S-O-U-L, no, S-E-O-U-L, Seoul as in Seoul, Korea, which is very interesting.
Right.
The hour-long drama is about a young Korean-American adoptee who moves to Seoul for a job opportunity and discovers that she is the heir of a dynastic Korean family. Cho will write and executive produce the project, which will also be executive produced by Sebastian Lee and David Kim, who is the executive producer on ABC's The Good Doctor. So
that's
it's
awesome.
in very good hands.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, I love it. I just love that they're moving forward with more representation and more diversity and getting it out there, man.
Exactly. Much needed in today's society.
Oh, yeah.
Hulu has also put together a legal drama, Reasonable Doubt, on a script to series development track with an opening of a writer's room. The project, originally set up at ABC during the 2019-2020 development season, hails from writer Ramala Mohammed from Scandal, Kerry Washington's Simpson Street Productions, Larry Wilmore's Wilmore Films, celebrity attorney Sean Holley, a member of O.J. Simpson's legal defense Dream Team, and ABC signatures where Omid and Washington have been under deals. Now, Omid reworked her original script for the streamer as Reasonable Doubt was taken on by Onyx Collective, the recently launched new Disney curated content brand for creators of color and underrepresented voice.
There you go.
Now, the writer's room, consisting of all black staff led by Muhammad, is working on a handful of scripts that will be evaluated by Hulu's brass as part of their consideration of a series pickup for the project. In Reasonable Doubt, you'll judge Jack Stewart for her reasonable ethics and wild interpretations of the law until you're the one in trouble. Then you'll see her for what she is, the most brilliant and fearless defense attorney in LA who bucks the justice system at every chance she gets. So basically, an attorney that doesn't play by the rules. Very interesting.
Yeah. I'd rather have All Rise back on.
I feel you.
I mean, I know that's CBS, but I'm just saying. We had some good representation there, and
we did.
I just don't understand. Maya Rudolph and Natasha Lyonne's Animal Pictures has apparently set its first feature film with Love in Color, the latest team-up between American High and Hulu. Love in Color will follow an aspiring young artist who is forced to join her high school track team. She uses it as an opportunity to pursue the girl she's been harboring a long-time crush on. But she soon finds herself falling for an unexpected teammate and discovers what real love feels like.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Never expected. That's great. Oh, man. Well, ABC News is expanding its primetime 2020 news magazine with a new series, Superstar.
This sounds interesting.
Which will begin airing on ABC August 11th. Each episode of Superstar will profile a different celebrity who has shaped American culture. The first episode will profile Whitney Houston okay, I can't do it.
Yep.
And will include never-before-seen private videos of the singer who died back in 2012. The special will also include archival news interviews, or just interviews in general, of Houston and Bobby Brown. The new interviews with Brandy, Shaka Khan, BB Winans, and Darlene Love will air on ABC August 11th at 10 p.m. and will stream on Hulu the next day. Future episodes will focus on celebrities like Kobe Bryant, Robin Williams, and many other influential people. That's exciting. That's very exciting, especially people we like. All the celebrities are in the limelight, but there's like a handful that we put in front of everyone else. So,
yeah, I'm excited too, and I'm really excited to see how deep they dive. Like, right? I saw Darlene Love on there, and like, are they going to touch on the long rumored? Whitney was a lesbian and had a lover. Are they going to go there? I mean, they're talking to Bobby, and like, right? And I don't know how deep will it go, but I mean, I love this idea though to focus. And the Robin Williams one is going to be huge.
It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be freaking amazing and like massive ratings numbers, I would guess.
For sure.
Speaking of Whitney Houston, just real quick, they're moving forward with deep fake hologram concert series. It's like touring the country. Like,
that's unfortunate.
I just don't. I don't understand why.
Very.
I mean, you can't tell me her estate needs that much money.
Right.
They need to do a hologram concert.
I feel like it's borderline disrespectful.
Exactly. I don't know.
Yeah.
This one is really interesting, right? I mean, you can't get rid of these guys. They're everywhere, and they're going to keep being everywhere, apparently. After years of trying to secure top sports celebrities to boost the flagship Monday Night Football coverage, because it hasn't been the same since Al, Frank, and Dan, honestly. I'm just saying. Or at least Al and John Madden, right? Like, it just hasn't been the same. And then it was NBC. But anyway, as you guys know, it was shifted over from ABC to ESPN, and it basically sucks now.
Yeah. Basically.
But anymore, they're trying to fix it. And this is what they've announced. They've enlisted both Peyton and Eli Manning to co-anchor a second broadcast of the signature show starting this fall. Now, the famous football brothers will lead the new broadcast on ESPN2. The Deuce, as it's known. And the sports media giant said it may also place their show on its streaming video, ESPN+. The pair will start their duties in the fall of 2021 and continue through 2023 season, handling a total of 30 games over 3 seasons.
I'm pumped.
So, yeah, the two of them together are going to be fucking hysterical.
I think so, too.
They're so competitive with each other. It's going to be really, like, who's going to be the announcer, who's going to be the play-by-play.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, I feel like who's going to be the straight guy, who's going to be the play-by-play. Good luck.
Right.
But it will be entertaining as hell to watch, and that's what it's supposed to be, right?
Exactly. Well, now moving over to Fox, they have assembled a judging panel and named the host for its singing competition, Alter Ego. The show is a special effects assisted spin on the Masked Singer concept, and it's going to feature a judging panel comprising Alanis Morissette, Grimes, Nick Lachey, and will.i.am. Rosie Diaz from VH1's Dating Naked will host the show. Now, the show will feature people from all walks of life whose singing dreams were never even realized. They'll perform not as themselves, but as their dream avatar. Okay, using motion capture and visual effects to become the performer they've always wanted to be. That's kind of creepy. I don't like it. I really don't like it.
It just seems unnecessary.
What the fuck, Fox?
It just seems, but it's Fox.
Yeah.
They're having huge success with these weird ass shows, so they're just gonna keep making them until they don't. That's my guess.
It makes me cringe.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. All right, jumping over to the bunny, because we told you we got a lot of bunny news this week. Black Adam. Yes, the highly anticipated Black Adam, long in development Black Adam, has officially wrapped production. Star Dwayne Johnson broke the news on social media about the DC movie and released a date, July 29th, 2022. The 11th installment in the DCEU is directed by Jean-Mi Colette-Serra, whose past directing credits include House of Wax, Orphan, and The Shallows. More recently directed Disney's Jungle Cruise, which also happened to star Dwayne Johnson.
Right.
So I guess they were pretty familiar. They felt pretty comfortable. I'm just so happy. In that statement, he was like, guys, this has been like a 20-year venture of trying to get this thing made.
Right.
It's been a dream of mine, and he couldn't have been happier with the cast and the crew. And he just seems pumped. And I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a kick-ass film. So.
Hell yeah. Completely agree, man. Completely agree. Well, Warner Media CEO Jason Kilar announced this week that next year Warner Brothers will be moving back to a more traditional theatrical release strategy. With the shortened 45 window for exclusive theatrical distribution for many of the theatrical bound titles on its slate, but it will produce 10 or more movies exclusively for their streaming service HBO Max in 2022. Now, he spoke as part of AT&T's second quarter earnings call, in which he was asked about the company's distribution strategy for Warner Brothers titles next year, because everybody knows this year was the whole, simultaneously thing.
Oh, yeah.
Warner Media shook up the industry late last year, like I said, with its move to day and date HBO Max theatrical releases for all the studio's 2021 slate, given COVID lockdown conditions, had to shutter theaters. It's very freaking interesting, man, and I think it was a good Band-Aid. Like I said, it kept people entertained, but it was definitely not the long-term solution.
I'm just going to say the one thing that they did right, and I think kind of worked with Space Jam, like you were talking about, although not nearly the numbers that Black Widow produced, right? The 60 million and the 80-something million, much lower. But what I think HBO Max has done right, even though I disagree with this strategy, is no stupid premium pay window.
Agreed.
It's on HBO Max, or you go see it at the theater. You don't have to pay some crazy-ass additional cost like you do on Disney to watch it on the streamer, which is where I think Disney fucked up.
Agreed.
Like, Soul was hugely successful. There was no pay window for Soul. But with Black Widow, there was, and it clearly fucked it up.
Agreed.
So HBO Max is doing it correctly there.
Agreed.
Okay. Big news here, huge news. This is what I was kind of hinting at the top of the show about how they might as well change the name of HBO Max to DC Universe, because it's a whole shit ton coming. After testing actresses Leslie Grace, Haley Lou Richardson, Isabella Merced. See, I told you she was trying to get another role but didn't get it, but it's fine. Remember, we told you she got a new one in Romeo and Juliet. It's great. And Zoe Deutsch this week. Warner Brothers and DC Films apparently have found their Batgirl. Sources say Leslie Grace has been tapped to play Barbara Gordon in the studio's upcoming Batgirl film. The studio was already super high with the rising star following her breakout role in The Heights, and sources say her audition sealed the deal as the choice. Now, the film is bowing on HBO Max, marking the first major DC property to debut exclusively on the streamer, as HBO Max continues to bolster its original programming in an effort to lure subscribers. DC content is the way to do it. That's clear. Batgirl will be directed by Aldi El Arabi and Belia Falah, the directing pair behind Bad Boys for Life, one of the few actual box office successes during the pandemic in 2020, if you guys remember that. Christina Hodson wrote the screenplay, and while the plot details are under wraps, as they always are, it is known that Barbara Gordon, the daughter of Commissioner Gordon, will be the character behind the cape in this version. Gordon is the most established version of the Batgirl character that was actually first introduced as Betty Kane back in 1961, but Barbara Gordon is the more, she's the definitive Batgirl.
Yeah.
This one's been causing some controversy.
It has. Not a lot of people are happy with this casting decision, but are any comic book geeks ever happy with casting decisions?
I mean, I think she's going to be fantastic. I really do. I get that she's Latinx. I get, But who cares?
Right?
Who cares? She was phenomenal in The Heights, and I think her excitement to get the role and her audition must have been fucking crazy good. I mean, if that's what
Exactly.
So if you're excited to get the role and you want the role and you're a geek, she's apparently a geek, she loves the DC universe, then how can this be a bad move?
Exactly.
Like, shut the fuck up.
I know.
Be happy. I mean,
exactly. I know. People, man.
Can't please everybody, man.
Victoria Cartagena has joined the upcoming third season of Batwoman, a new series regular portraying Renee Montoya in a CW drama. Now, she will be playing Montoya is a former GCPD officer who left the force because she could no longer stomach the corruption inside of the department. Now, she runs the Freaks division, which hasn't seen a lot of action until now. Mm-hmm. Righteous and pragmatic and LGBTQ she is a woman with a very personal and mysterious mission to help clean the streets of Gotham in the right way by whatever means necessary.
Yeah, I'm super pumped about this. And you know what's really interesting about this? This actress, Victoria, played Renee Montoya on Gotham.
That's cool.
Right? So even though they're not connected in any way whatsoever, she's playing the same role on a new show. So that's kind of cool, though.
That's awesome.
I mean, she clearly knows the character, so I guess, you know.
Exactly.
Let's see. In a new sampling strategy to boost HBO Max signups, boy, they're trying everything, aren't they? Warner Media is letting Snapchat users in the U.S. watch select pilots of the streaming service's original series for free. Oh, shit.
Very interesting.
With up to 63 friends. Oh, starting to roll out this past Tuesday, the first episodes of the shows on HBO Max, including Gossip Girl reboot, Euphoria, The Flight Attendant, Lovecraft Country, and Game of Thrones, are all available to stream on Snapchat's app in the U.S. Snapchatters can watch the free episodes with their friends through Snap Minis, the company's platform for shared experiences on Snapchat. Now, HBO Max is the first major streamer to build a Snap Mini co-viewing experience to bring full-length episodes to Snapchat. So I would guess a lot of the streamers will follow suit if this is successful.
Yeah,
I would
agreed.
guess, right?
Very interesting concept, though. I mean, I never thought that would be a thing. But you see, this is what we're talking about. The entertainment industry changes every single day, and this is why you have to listen to the show to keep up with it.
That's right.
Oh, man. Punky Johnson, the Saturday Night Live feature player, has been cast in Season 2 of HBO Max's rom-com anthology series, Love Life, starring opposite previously announced The Good Place alum William Jackson Harper. Additionally, the premium cable or streaming platform announced that Leslie Bibb, John Earl Jelks, and Aaron Moyd will recur in the show. Kimberly Elise, Ego Noibed, and Blair Underwood will guest star. Now, Season 2 of Love Life, which hails from Lionsgate Television, focuses on Marcus Watkins, who is played by Harper, he comes with hope of his years-long relationship with a woman he thought was going to be his person. The rug is pulled out from underneath him, and he is plunged back into the search of a romantic fulfillment in life that he thought he already had found. Now, Love Life is currently in production in New York, baby. So, yeah, man.
We can all relate to that one, right?
Yeah.
You think you found the love of your life. You got it. You're locking it down. It's good to go. No.
Nope, just kidding.
Got to start over. Yeah.
Exactly.
I think that was going to be a good one.
Agreed. It's going to be very interesting.
I don't know how you feel about this one. I feel like it's mixed emotions on this one. HBO Max is apparently expanding its Game of Thrones animation slate. Now, we told you back in January that the streamer had an animated project in development. Now, according to our sources, it's now working on at least 2 more potential animated shows. The only Game of Thrones project certain to hit the air is the prequel House of Dragon, which tells the story of the Terrigen Civil War, and that's set for 2022. That's the only one we know for sure that's actually set to air. HBO Max has also had no comment on the 2 animated projects. The streamer is ramping up its adult animation slate in general, though, having recently greenlit a Batman animated series from producer J.J. Abrams and Matt Reeves. So he's got the live-action Gotham series, now the animated Batman series. Telling you.
I know, right?
DC,
he
DC,
should just
DC.
be the guy. I hope they're just trying out a whole bunch of different concepts and don't release all of these.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah.
I mean, you got to figure out what's best. You got to do screen tests. You got to make sure, like, the audience will actually like it. But let's not get overwhelmed or drown in fucking Game of Thrones shit. Because the original was so good that, I mean, people are going to be so sick of the concept once all of this is done if you try to release too much. So,
agreed.
we shall
Walking
see.
Dead.
Yes.
Walking Dead.
Seriously.
Prime example.
Exactly. And I mean, speaking of Matt Reeves, a rising British filmmaker, Oscar Sharp, has teamed up with Reeves and Damien Lindelof in a development of a medical drama for HBO Max. The Human Conditions is an original series that follows a young British doctor who must learn to treat impossible, fantastic, crazy illnesses. Not fantastic illnesses, but by healing the emotional issues that underline them and comforting her own along the way. I love that.
Wait, confronting her own illnesses along that. Is this like this sounds like a reboot of House.
A little bit.
Right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But boy, Matt Reeves likes the Lost alums, huh? That last story of J.J. Abrams and now
Seriously.
Damon Lindelof. It's like Matt Reeves teams with all the Lost alum to make shows. Okay.
Exactly. Bringing them all back.
Bringing them all back. Lost. JS is loving that because he's a huge Lost fan. He's a geek. All right. Hey, Aquaman. You remember him, Jason Momoa? Yeah, that guy. He's filming. He's got blonde hair now, and they're apparently started production. He's a busy guy, but Aquaman isn't the only thing he apparently is doing. This sounds exciting. Aquaman star Jason Momoa is launching a reality series. Momoa is producing and appearing in a rock climbing competition titled The Climb for HBO Max with rock climber Chris Sharma. The concept is described as a visually arresting and life-changing adventure that represents the foundations of rock climbing and the exploration of the human spirit. In this all-encompassing competition, amateur climbers are put through a rigorous series of mental and physical challenges, utilizing the most intimidating ascents in the world to crown the world's best amateur climber.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
Very interesting.
Damn.
This has seemed to become more prevalent, more popular recently because I think I just went and saw a movie and they released a trailer before and it was like a documentary about a solo climber, who doesn't use any ropes or anything. He just climbs up shit. So it's very interesting. I mean, that shit's dangerous, man.
It really is, but it seems to be like you said. I mean, it's always been a thing for the wealthy, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Ascending to Mount Everest and climbing all the world peaks,
It's
right?
the adrenaline rush.
Yeah. But now it has really become a kind of a thing for an everyday guy, and kind of doing it. So, and hey, man, if Jason Momoa gets behind it, you're gonna do it.
It's gonna be good. Yeah,
it's gonna be really good.
The Last of Us series on HBO has cast Anna Trove in a recurring guest star role. Now, Anna joins previously announced series leads Pedro Pascal, Bella Ramsey, as well as cast members Gabriel Luna, Morel Dandridge, Nico Parker, Con O'Neill, Jeffrey Pierce, and so many others. The Last of Us series was first announced as being in development on the premium cabler last March, with the show landing a formal series order back in November. Based on the video game of the same name, the series takes place 20 years after the modern civilization has been destroyed. We've told you about this one before. Like we've said, turning games into television and or film content is huge right now, so HBO is jumping on that shit.
They are. And Anna Torv, I'm a fan of Anna Torv. I'm a huge fan of her on Fringe with Joshua Jackson and Mark Valley.
Yeah.
And Anna and Mark used to be a thing.
Yep.
Just putting that out there. Just putting that out there.
Yeah.
But I am a huge fan of Anna. I think that's going to be a great addition. Apparently, HBO has added 5 more actors to star alongside Alicia Vikander in the upcoming limited series Irma Veep. Adria Arona from Six Underground, Carrie Brownston from Portlandia, Gerard Carmichael from The Carmichael Show and Rami, Fala Shen from The Undoing and Shang-Chi and the Legends of the Ten Rings, and Devin Ross will all star alongside Vikander in the limited series. Now, in this show, Mira, who's Vikander, is an American movie star disillusioned by her career and a recent breakup. She comes to France to star in Irma Vep, in a remake of the French silent film classic, Les Vampires. Set against the backdrop of a lurid crime thriller, Mira struggles as the distinctions between herself and the character she plays begins to merge and blur reality. Oh.
Very interesting.
That sounds, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Right?
Right,
Like,
okay.
A lot of stuff happening there.
That's a lot
freaking
of stuff happening.
Oh, man. Well, Madeline Mantok is leaving Charmed after 3 seasons. The actress has played one of the 3 main characters of the CW reboot since it began. Now, Season 3 of the series is set to wrap on July 23rd, which will mark Mantok's last appearance as a series regular. Melanie Diaz and Sarah Jeffrey remain with the series, and it remains to be seen how Mantok's character Macy will be written off the show. So that's very interesting. I mean, we all have those Charmed fans out there, and everybody knows they love it. So
and parallels the original Charmed when Shannon Doherty left.
Yeah,
right. Like one of the sisters left.
Exactly.
So what are they gonna do?
Exactly.
I mean, I'm just saying.
I know. And before jumping over to the eye, I just want to say very proud of HBO Max for gaining that many subscribers for the second quarter. They rocked and rolled like 10 million plus subscribers. So I mean, kudos to y'all, man. I mean, they're on the rise. They
And
really
Netflix
are.
did not.
Yeah,
only
exactly.
1.5 million, I think, which was way down from so
Exactly.
Kudos. Disney and HBO Max are coming for you.
Exactly.
That's all I'm saying. Okay, jump into the eye, right? Pam Grier is set to star in the prequel to Paramount's 2019 horror film Pet Sematary. Yes, we've told you about this one. Grier apparently joins the cast that includes Jackson White, Forrest Goodluck, Jack Mulhern, Natalie Allen Lind, and Isabella Star LeBlanc. The upcoming Pet Sematary will serve as apparently an origin story to the Stephen King novel about the family that discovers a rather disturbing graveyard in the woods. The movie, which still doesn't have a title, begins shooting in August and will debut exclusively on Paramount Plus. So, there you go.
Goodness gracious. Another reboot, but whatever.
Hey, we'll just call it an origin. It's a prequel.
It's fine. Oh, man. Christine Paul and Carter Redwood rounded out the series' regular cast for FBI International, the upcoming third series in the Dick Wolf universe, that is the FBI universe, I should say. On CBS, they will play the remaining leads opposite of recently cast Luke,
Feinstein?
Yep, sure. And Haida Reed and Vanessa Vitito. Damn, guys. Okay.
Well, it is international. FBI
really
International.
Is. Proud of you. In the series, which is slated to air as part of an FBI Tuesday lineup, FBI International will launch on September 21st. So be sure to mark your calendars. And this one's going to be a 3-hour crossover premiere along with the mothership, FBI, and FBI Most Wanted in a special time, 10 p.m. Before moving to its regular 9 p.m. So everybody's excited about it, man. Everybody's excited about
boy, he likes to do these crossovers with all his shows, right?
He
he loves it. That's how you do it. Just Law and Order. I mean, this guy, Chicago, Law and Order, FBI. This guy's got like franchises coming out the ass, like
Seriously.
on every network. Dick Wolf.
I know. I don't know how he sleeps.
I don't know either, man. The guy just is pumping them out left. He's like shitting them. Like I don't even know.
You go, Dick. Getting in there. You're getting in there, boy.
Woo! Woo! Yeah, you are. All right. I am super pumped about this one. I am currently watching season 5, and I'm loving every fucking episode. Nikki James, I love Nikki James. She's so phenomenal. She actually directed the last episode that I watched. Outstanding job, Nikki. I'm talking, of course, about The Good Fight, which apparently has already been renewed for Season 6 at Paramount+.
Nice.
News of the renewal comes about midway through the show's 5th season. Now, the first 5 episodes of Season 5 are currently streaming on Paramount+. I watched episode 5. That's what I'm talking about. The Good Fight's provocative, whip-smart, and no-holds-barred world remains as relevant as ever, continuing to entice new audiences as one of Paramount Plus's top-performing original series. Duh. It's a spin-off, for anybody who doesn't know, from The Good Wife with Juliana Margulies. It's got a lot of the same characters, and it carried over, and a lot of the guest stars from The Good Wife have been on this series, and I think that's why it's so successful. In the current season, Diane is forced to question whether it's appropriate for her to help run an African-American law firm with Liz when the firm loses 2 top lawyers. Meanwhile, Marissa and the firm become entangled with Hal Wagner, who's Mandy Patinkin, by the way, who's doing fucking phenomenal this season, a regular Chicagoan who decides to open his own courtroom in the back of a copy shop.
Interesting.
Yes, not a real judge, not a real court, not real decisions. And you can imagine it's causing some issues.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, it's such, great season. I'm so happy about the renewal.
Hell yeah. And this next one's very interesting, and this guy's got a lot of weight on his shoulders.
Oh, yeah.
Anthony Ep.167-David from Grand Army has been tapped to play Al Pacino, opposite of Miles Teller and Matthew Good in The Offer, Paramount Plus's upcoming limited series about the making of The Godfather. We've told you about this one before. I'm so super pumped. I mean, this one is star-stubbed. I mean, it's so good. It's going to be so great. I'm so excited.
No, yeah, and I can't wait for people to see, because that movie was not easy to get made.
Not at all.
It's one of the legendary best movies of all time, right? It's on everybody's best movie of all time list, right? But to get the thing made was not an easy task.
No.
So this is going to be really good to watch.
Agreed.
Let's see. Larry Wilmore and Rainn Wilson are joining Annette Bening and Bryan Cranston in the upcoming Paramount Plus Lotto Hack project, Jerry and Marge Go Large, announced recently as one of the first original films at Viacom CBS. The film tells the remarkable true story of how retiree Jerry Selby, who's Bryan Cranston, discovered a mathematical loophole in the Massachusetts lottery, and with the help of his wife Marge, Annette Bening, wins $27 million and uses the money to revive their small Michigan town.
Oh, wow.
How cool is that?
That's really cool.
That sounds really cool. And
Right.
I mean, they could have just squandered that money and done whatever, but of course, they cheated,
Yeah,
technically.
I mean,
but at least they did good with the money, though. They helped the bad town. I mean, come on.
Real illegal. But, I mean,
Hey, it was a loophole. He's just, hey.
Hey! Oh, my goodness. Shailene Woodley has joined Showtime's upcoming hour-long series, Three Women, as the lead. The drama is a book-to-television adaptation of the non-fiction bestseller of the same name by Lisa Taddeo, and now who is executive produces the series. The series will tell the true multi-generational story of three American women in their 20s, 30s, and 40s who suffered backlash for their sexual desires as well as their public and private pursuits of sexual independence and justice. Now, the show is set to begin production in the fall. Very inclusive, man. I mean, I love it. Every single week we talk about more and more content that's going to be super inclusive.
I love Shailene Woodley. Will we
she's
see Aaron
great.
Rodgers?
Right? Like, they're apparently best friends.
Yeah, best friends.
Yeah.
We'll see. Showtime is rounding out the cast. I'm excited about this one too, y'all. Showtime's rounding out the casting of the Roosevelt family for its upcoming anthology series, The First Lady. Apparently, Oscar and Emmy and Tony winner Ellen Bernstein, Eliza Scanlon, and Kaylee Spaney are all set for recurring roles on the series. Bernstein is going to play Sarah Delano Roosevelt, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt's mother. Scanlon will portray a young Eleanor Roosevelt, and Spaney is going to play Anna Eleanor Roosevelt, the eldest daughter and only child of FDR and Eleanor. So, There you go. They keep just loading this cast up, man. This is going to be such a good series.
I'm so excited for that one, too. So much good content coming our way. Nickelodeon has renewed Baby Shark's Big Show for a second season and is also in early stages of developing a feature film based on the pop culture phenomena. Is it pop culture? I feel like the song was just super catchy for like one summer. The preschool series is midway through its 26-episode first season. Season 2 will feature the same number of installments and the second most watched show among kids 5 and under the second quarter of 2021, behind only Nickelodeon's Paw Patrol. The movie will be co-produced by Nickelodeon's Animation and Smart Study, the company behind Pink Fong, Pink Thong, the kids' entertainment brand that will be made the Baby Shark song pop culture phenomena.
Pink thongs are what caused the Baby Shark phenomena. That's a totally different culture.
Oh no.
Okay, skipping over to NBC Universal, or otherwise known as the Dick Wolf Network, Jordan Peele has announced the title of his next horror movie, which has been shrouded in secrecy. And guess what it's called? Nope. No, I mean, I'm telling you, Nope is the title. Not Nope, I'm not going to tell you. Nope is the title, apparently. Peele made the news known on his social media channels and revealed the title in a poster. The poster, get this, reveals a cloud at night with a kite flag, a tail attached above a lit mountainside town. Now, no log line was provided. The pic's release date, which was already announced, is July 22nd, 2022. Peele reteams with Get Out star Daniel Kaluuya. Nope also stars Keke Palmer, Stephen Yeun, Barbie Ferreira, and Brandon Perea.
Nice.
Now, that's a nice cast.
Seriously.
That's going to be like, okay.
Exactly.
All
This
right.
guy's got so much interesting concepts in the works.
He's a strange fella.
He is.
Like, the shit that he writes is just strange.
I know. He seemed like such a normal guy on Key and Peele.
Yeah,
He
but
had no idea.
apparently he had some issues that
Right.
he's trying to resolve in these horror movies.
It's great,
Like-
man. It's great. Universal has also announced premiere dates for two DreamWorks movies, Distant and Easter Sunday, as well as Abilene Entertainment's The Last Voyage of the Demeter. Distant, Distant will open on March 11th. Easter Sunday will open on April 1st and is only wide release currently dated. And The Last Voyage of the Demeter will debut on January 27th of 2023 and is also the only wide release date for that weekend. So, yeah.
For now.
For now,
Yeah.
things change all the time.
All right, now I know Emily is super pumped about this story, and this one is crazy to me, but let's go with it. You guys remember back in 2017 when NBC canceled Timeless after like one season, and then all of a sudden just said, oh, wait, hold up, we made a mistake, and they reversed the decision days later because the fans went crazy and were like, hey, we love this show, we want to see a second season. Okay, well, apparently they're thinking about doing the same thing for Manifest. As you guys know, they canceled Manifest, right? The high concept drama with a passionate fan base, just like Time and Lucifer and all these people that have all these fan bases, right? Well, apparently a month after the missing plane drama was axed by NBC, after 3 seasons, Netflix, they tried there, and apparently Netflix chose not to pick it up, even though it's like the #1 show on their streaming service right now.
Yeah.
Huge on there, but they opted not to pick it up. Well, now, NBC, after seeing the success that it's had on Netflix and seeing how popular it is, apparently NBC is in conversations with Manifest Studio, Warner Brothers TV, about possibly renewing it. Oops, hold on, we made a mistake.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah. But now, what makes that also intriguing is that Netflix, who passed on it when they heard that NBC might want it back, Netflix said, no, hold up, maybe we do want it. So now they're both bidding on it with Warner Brothers Television to try to get the 4th season. Now, here's the interesting part, though, why this is going to be more difficult. The cast was recently released from their options, from their holdings. So they're no longer signed to the show, which means if you do work out a contract to bring it back for a 4th season again, you're going to have to work out all new contracts with the cast, who I'm sure will demand more money.
Oh,
now.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so there you go. And get this, I also read that the Save Lucifer fans, which was massively popular to get Lucifer on Netflix, have started a campaign to save Manifest.
Damn.
So if you got the Lucifer people behind you, it's going to work.
Right.
Now we'll just see does it go back to NBC or does it go on Netflix?
Oh, man.
We'll see.
Very interesting. Well, NBC is not moving forward in its ensemble drama pilot At That Age, created,
Oh.
directed, and based on an original idea by Malcolm B. Lee, director of the current box office champ Space Jam: A New Legacy. Sources say the options on the cast include Adrian Holmes, Nicole Ari Parker, Brad James, Jade Ethy, and I mean so many more were coming up in July 31st, prompting the network to make a decision quickly. Universal Television, which produced the pilot, is shopping it to other networks, while the actors are still under deals.
But July 30th, you
that's
have them
like
under
next week.
Yeah, you have them under contract for 1 more week. Who the fuck are you shopping it to?
Good luck, bro.
Yeah, right? Speaking of, like I said, Dick Wolf Network, NBC's Chicago Med has upped Steven Weber to we love Steven Weber, to series regular. The news comes after the explosive season 6 finale in May that saw Weber's power-hungry Dean continue to dangerously bend the rules to suit his agenda. Now, additionally, 2 new doctors are joining Gaffney Chicago Medical Center as well, as Guy Lockhart and Kristen Hager have landed series regular roles on the Dick Wolf-produced procedural, which returns for its 7th season this fall. The new cast additions follow the shocking departures of Yaya DaCosta and Tori DeVito, of which we told you about leaving the show at the end of last season. Lockhart will apparently portray Dr. Dylan Scott, who left a career as a Chicago police officer to become a doctor. Whether the doctor has any connections to that other Chicago show, Chicago PD, we don't know yet. Hager is going to play Dr. Stevie Hammer, a brilliant and scrappy emergency room attending physician. Brilliant and scrappy. That sounds like a certain fella on The Resident.
Very interesting. The game show version of the classic video game, Frogger, has found
80s.
in minutes. Damian Wayans Jr. will serve as host of the series, which will feature contestants playing a role of Frog in the video game and attempting a series obstacle-filled crossings. NFL Network's Kyle Brandt will serve as Wayans' co-host. Peacock's first original competition series, Frogger, will have its players dodging cars and jumping over open maws of presumably not real alligators and hippos as they try to compete for a $100,000 prize. The series is based on a long-lived video game. Everybody knows that they love it, which has spawned more than 30 titles since its introduction back in 1981 as an arcade console. It's still a very interesting show, and I don't see it being on long because people might die.
If it's real alligators, I think it'd be far more entertaining if it was real alligators and hippos. But I want to see them dodge cars.
It's gonna be scary.
Like the game was fun though. I'm not gonna lie. As an 11-year-old kid, it was fun. It was fun.
It's gonna be scary.
I know I'm old. It's fine. All right, we're now jumping over to Sony, and it's not Spider-Man related. Woohoo! Apparently, a television series based on the life of Malcolm X is in the works at Sony Pictures Television TriStar. The series will be based on the novels X, a novel, and The Awakening of Malcolm X, both of which were co-written by Malcolm's daughter, Alicia Shabazz. X, a novel, follows Malcolm's life from his childhood, including his father being lynched and his mother being institutionalized against her will, up to his imprisonment at the age of 20.
Wow.
The Awakening of Malcolm X picks up during his time in prison when he decided to join the Nation of Islam, ultimately emerging as from incarceration as Malcolm X. So it's going to take those two novels, kind of merge them together and make this series. So that sounds, I mean, I'm all in. Everything that I've ever seen, interpreted into any film or television about Malcolm X has been good.
Agreed.
So I'm in.
And I mean, this is American history, so we all need to sit down and watch this one because, I mean, this guy was an entrepreneur in the sense of equal rights and all this stuff. So, I mean, this is definitely necessary.
And definitely check out One Night in Miami if you haven't seen it,
Also
because that's
great.
all about Malcolm X when he's trying to recruit Muhammad Ali into the Islam faith. So it's fantastic fucking movie. Just if you haven't seen it, watch it.
Agreed. Now heading over to MGM, Abby Quinn will star in the upcoming Blumhouse and Epix movie set in Nashville opposite of Shiloh Fernandez and Joshua Leonard. They joined previously announced Alexis Lemire and Katie Seagal in the film, which has a working title as Tattered Hearts. The movie centers on a promising up-and-coming country duo who seek out the crazy mansion of their idol, who is played by Seagal, a former country music star and Music City royalty turn recluse. Now, what starts out to be a friendly visit develops into a twisted series of horrors, forcing the friends to confront the lengths that they would go to realize their dream. Quinn will star as Jordan, a singer and guitarist, and one of the half of the music duo. Very interesting.
That does sound interesting. Okay. It's funny that was sandwiched in between Malcolm X and now this story.
Right.
Whoopi Goldberg and Danielle Deadwyler will star in Chiona Chewuk's upcoming film Till, about Mamie Till Mobley's fight for justice for her 14-year-old son, Emmett Lewis Till. Now, Deadwyler will portray Mamie Till Mobley, while Goldberg is set to play Till's grandmother, Alma Carthen. Goldberg is also serving as an executive producer on the project for MGM's Orion Pictures, alongside Keith Beauchamp, Barbara Broccol, and Thomas Kane Levine. Till chronicles Mamie's decision to have an open casket at Emmett's funeral, and to allow Jet Magazine to publish David Jackson's funeral photos in order to ensure people everywhere saw the true horrors of her son's murder. The decision from the grieving mother was a galvanizing moment that led to the creation of the civil rights movement. If you guys don't know the story of Emmett Till, Shame on you, first of all. But it's the teenager who was accused of whistling at a white woman and was lynched and brutally beat to death.
Yeah.
Watch this one.
Yeah.
Watch
Seriously.
this one.
Talk about American history. Heading over to Lionsgate. This next one I'm super pumped about because it's happening. It really is. We're here, man. They have picked up the world rights to Kevin Smith's Clerks 3, the long freaking waited sequel to the indie film cult classic. Smith wrote the script and will direct, with all major cast members returning, including Jeff Anderson as Randall, Brian O'Halloran as Dante, Jason Mewes as Jay, Smith as Silent Bob himself, and Rosario Dawson as Becky. Clerks 3 is in pre-production in New Jersey and will begin production in August, with Liz Destro and Jordan Monstrato producing.
Yes, that guy.
Yes, so I'm pumped about that.
Oh, man. What? Yeah. Okay, so now this next one, apparently Tom Cruise and Sean Penn, they both don't like that COVID shit. They don't want it around on their sets, but they have very different approaches, apparently. Do you remember Tom Cruise going batshit crazy, that rant video, right? Threatening people and stuff. Well, Sean Penn has a different approach. He has basically set an ultimatum on the set of his upcoming Starz Watergate series, Gaslit. Either the entire cast and crew receive their vaccines, or he's not returning to work. Period. I'm not coming back until all of y'all prove it. Now, although NBC Universal's Gaslit Studio imposed mandatory vaccines for Zone A cast and crew members, and provided an on-site vaccination clinic for those involved with the production, Penn is apparently putting his foot down. Penn has also offered, get this, to facilitate the mandatory for all vaccination effort free of charge through his nonprofit organization, Community Organized Relief Effort. So not only is he demanding that you get it, but he's going to pay for it.
That's hilarious.
I mean,
yeah,
that's one way to do it.
Exactly. Lionsgate has won an auction and is paying just under $2 million for Black Collar, a heist thriller pitch to be written by William N. College and produced by Kenya Barris through his Calipo Inc. Society banner. Lionsgate took it off the table as bidders were circling. They were like sharks. It is one of the most biggest pitch deals of the year. Specific plot is under wraps, but this is a globe-trotting suspense action heist adventure said to be reminiscent of the hits like Thomas the Crown Affair and Inside Man, but with a fresh, contemporary way of timely themes. So very interesting concept, especially very interesting things to compare it to. So I'm interested.
Yeah. This next one could have huge ramifications for the industry. I'm just going to say it flat out because there's a lot of shady accounting that has been called out on numerous shows and films where creators felt like they were robbed of their money. So this could potentially be huge. AMC Networks has apparently reached a $200 million settlement with Frank Darabont and CAA in the long-running profit participation lawsuit over The Walking Dead. The deal calls for AMC Networks to pay Darabont and CAA a total of $200 million. They will continue to receive a share of future profits from the streaming deals tied to The Walking Dead and the spin-off Fear the Walking Dead. But now for all the other Walking Dead related content that came after that, the settlement buys out their rights to that. So they're only going to receive profits from the original flagship Walking Dead and from Fear the Walking Dead. But still, this is huge because it's been going on for basically since the second season of The Walking Dead,
right,
where Darabont figured out they were keeping money from him and they were selling shit left and right, the Fear conventions and t-shirts and merchandise and all this money, and he wasn't getting shit and they were hiding it. But so there's apparently a lot of that. We talk about this on the show a lot of that going on different shows and different films and stuff. So the fact that the court sided in favor, this could be potentially really bad for some shows that were hiding some money.
Right?
Just saying.
Goodness
We're going to keep an eye on that for sure.
Hell yeah. Heading over to Netflix, Anthony Mackie and David Harbour and Jai Dalalo Winston will star in Netflix's upcoming family adventure, We Have a Ghost. The movie, written and directed by Christopher Landon from Freaky and Happy Death Day, also stars Tig Narto and Jennifer Coolidge. We Have a Ghost is adapted by Goff Menga's short story Ernest, about a young man named Kevin, who's going to be played by Winston, whose family finds a ghost named Ernest, who's going to be played by Harbor, haunting their new home. Discovering Ernest turns Kevin's family into an overnight social media sensation. But when Kevin and Ernest go rogue to investigate the mystery of Ernest's past, they become a target by the CIA.
Oh.
What?
Whoa, that seems kind of harsh.
Right? There's a lot happening there, but
There
I mean,
was.
Anthony Mackie and David Harbour, I think that's going to be hilarious.
Oh, what? Yeah, I mean, without doubt. Let's see. Babak Anvari, the BAFTA-winning director. BAFTA, that's the British Academy Awards, guys. The BAFTA-winning director of critically acclaimed horror Under the Shadow, has apparently assembled an all-star cast for his next project, Netflix's neo-noir thriller I Came By. George McKay from 1917, Kelly MacDonald from Trainspotting, and Hugh Bonneville from Downton Abbey lead the cast alongside Purcell Ascot from The Innocents and Vardana Sethu from Hard Sun. Now, apparently, I Came By follows a rebellious young graffiti artist who targets the homes of the wealthy elite, but discovers a shocking secret that leads him on a journey, endangering himself and those closest to him. I'm wondering if the secret is he's wealthy.
Right?
Like, maybe
shit.
he finds out, like, wait a minute, I'm rich. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just throwing that. I have actually no idea. That's
Right.
just a thought.
Michelle McGonagall will play twins in Netflix's upcoming limited series Echoes. Picked up straight to series last month, the 7-episode show is described as a mystery thriller about two identical twins, Leanie and Gina, who, since they were children, have secretly swapped lives, culminating in double life as adults. They share 2 homes, 2 husbands, and a child, but everything in their perfect choreographed world is thrown into disarray when one of the sisters goes missing. Now, Leanie is the sister who is content to stay home, marry the childhood sweetheart, raise her daughter, and help run a beautiful horse farm where everyone lives together, rooted in their shared history. But Gina is the rebellious sister that turned her back on all and escaped to Los Angeles, where she quickly rose to fame, writing a dark undertow that informed her southern childhood.
That sounds deep.
There's a lot happening
So they
there.
were like swapping and interchanging with each other like their whole lives?
Right.
That's creepy as fuck.
That is creepy.
Okay.
And, like, whose child is it? That's the real
Yeah,
question.
right? Whose
Like-
child is it? Yeah, Michelle Monaghan. She's going to be fantastic in
I
that,
agree.
though. I mean, I love her. That's not the only, oddly enough, that's not the only twin story movie that we'll be talking about either.
No.
We got another one coming up. Let's see. Netflix also announced their brand new cherry flavor will premiere August 13th. The 8-episode limited series follows a filmmaker who heads to Hollywood in the early 90s to make a movie, but instead tumbles down the rabbit hole of sex, magic, revenge, and kittens. What?
What?
Okay, starring Rosa Salazar, Catherine Keener, Eric Lang, Jeff Ward, Manny Natito, and Daniel Doherty. Brand new cherry flavor is executive produced by showrunners Nick Estanza and Lenore Zion. That sounds interesting.
Right? I don't even know what to say about
Sex
that
and
one.
kittens.
What? Amazon's I Know What You Did Last Summer series is taking a modern take on the 1997 slasher. It's set to debut in October, setting the scene for Halloween this year. There's going to be a lot of good Halloween-themed movies coming out. The series has the same premise as the movie adaptation. In a town full of secrets, a group of teenagers who are stalked by a mysterious killer a year after a fatal accident happened on their graduation night.
Yes,
So-
just like the movie.
Just like the damn movie.
But I love the movie. I just hope we see a cameo by the original movie stars. That would be
Agreed.
awesome. Jennifer Love Hewitt. Tommy Martinez, Emily Rudd, and Udo Kier are set for recurring roles in Season 2 of Amazon Prime's conspiracy thriller drama, The Hunters. You remember that? I love that one with Pacino and stuff. The plot for Season 2 is apparently being kept under wraps, as are Martinez, Rudd, and Clear's characters. Now, the first season of Hunters, as you guys know, followed a diverse band of Nazi hunters living in 1977 New York City. The Hunters, as they're known, have discovered that hundreds of high-ranking Nazi officials are living among us and conspiring to create a Fourth Reich in the United States. And the first season's brilliant, highly acclaimed. I mean, Logan Lerman and Pacino and a bunch of other people. So it's going to be interesting to see. I guess they're switching premises in the second season, maybe. I don't know. So that'll be interesting. If is it going to be like an American Horror Story thing where every season is a different story?
Right.
That'd be interesting.
Very, very. Gavin Casalegno has been tapped to lead in Amazon's young adult drama The Summer I Turned Pretty. Gavin will star alongside Lola Tung and Christopher Brini in the television adaptation of Jenny Han's novel. He will play Jeremiah, a popular, athletic, playful, and easygoing character who is the life of the party, incredibly magnetic, and flirts with everyone. Now, the multi-generational drama hinges on a love triangle between one girl and two brothers. Never good.
Never good.
Ever-evolving relationship between the mothers and their children, and enduring the power of strong female friendship. It's a coming-of-age story about first love, first heartbreak, and the magic of that one perfect summer. Tung plays Belly, who used to be a gawky and awkward person, but this summer she turned 16 and starts to turn some heads.
Oh!
Now it is taking some getting used to, but Brenny plays Conrad Fisher, a boy she's loved forever who is now paying attention to her. Rachel Blanchard and Jackie Chung, who plays Susanna and Laurel respectively, are also series regulars.
That's so shitty. Like she's like kind of homely and she's so in love with the guy and he just doesn't have anything. And now she's good looking and he's like, oh hey,
right?
That's so fucked up.
It is.
Amazon has ordered a series adaptation of Neil Gaiman's fantasy novel Anansi Boys. The author is writing the 6-episode limited series with British comedy legend Sir Lenny Henry. Shooting will begin on the series in Scotland later this year. Now, Anansi Boys follows Charlie Nancy, a young man who is used to being embarrassed by his estranged father. But when his father dies, Charlie discovers that his father was Anansi, trickster god of stories, and he learns that he has a brother. Now his brother, Spider, is entering Charlie's life, determined to make it more interesting, but making it a lot more dangerous. Oh, the
Very
trickster god of stories.
Yeah.
Okay.
Loki. Michael Chernus has signed on to star alongside Rachel Weisz and the Dead Ringer series. Currently in the works at Amazon, the series was announced at the streaming service in August 2020 with a straight-to-series order, and it's a modern update on the 1988 David Cronenberg film of the same name. The series version will see Weisz play the double lead role of Elliot and Beverly Mantle, twins who share everything: drugs, lovers, and unapologetic desires to do whatever it takes, including pushing the boundaries on medical ethics and in an effort to challenge antiquated practices and bringing women's health care to the forefront. Now, Sheerness will play Tom, a brilliant scientist who is working with Elliot on a project that is groundbreaking and hopefully will bring some new things to the table.
The film was creepy as fuck,
Yeah.
so if the series is anything like it, it's going to be cool. Let's see, jumping to Apple. America Ferrera has been cast in the Apple series We Crashed, which tells the story of the rise and fall of WeWork. Ferrara joins previously announced cast members Jared Leto, Anne Hathaway, and Kyle Marvin. Now, the series, as we told you before, is based on the Wondery podcast of the same name. It is described as following the greed-filled rise and inevitable fall of WeWork, one of the world's most valuable startups, and the narcissists whose chaotic love made it all possible. Ferrara will play the role of Elisha Kennedy, a brilliant young entrepreneur seduced into joining WeWork, whose life is turned upside down as a result.
And Emmy Award-winning nominee Philippa So has joined the cast of the Apple TV series Shining Girls, based on the 2013 best-selling novel by Laura DeBooks. There's no D in that name. In the series' regular role, So will portray the intelligent, sure-footed Jen Shook, who works in a research development at Alder Planetarium. She will star opposite of Elizabeth Moss, who portrays a Chicago reporter who survived a brutal assault, only to find her reality shifting as she hunts down her attacker. The star-studded cast includes Wagner Moura, played in Narcos and a role of Dan, veteran journalist breaking and winding story of a copycat attack. Jamie Bell also stars as Harper, a mysterious loner with a surprising connection to Moss's Kirby.
Damn.
Right?
That's
so much crazy shit.
Philippa Sue. You had me at Philippa Sue, though.
Exactly.
Eliza!
I know.
I mean, I love her. She's so fantastic.
Hell yeah.
Woo, that was loaded.
Yeah, man. Sorry about that. I mean, there was just so much going on. So, of course, you guys know if it's going down in Hollywood, we're talking about it.
Hell yeah.
But the time is finally here. What you have been waiting for. David Cade coming on the show to talk about Lansky. He's playing Bugsy Siegel in this film. And it's a very interesting way he approached it. You're going to hear all about it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then you might hear a great fart story.
Yeah, right?
What am I even talking about? You have to listen to find out.
Exactly. Well, here he is.
David Cade, welcome inside the Crazy Ant Farm, man. How are you tonight?
I'm great, buddy. Good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We are super stoked. You have Logan I can't even tell you. You can't see him, but he's so excited because he's all up into the gangster stuff. So, man, we're so pumped to talk to you about Lansky.
I love it. Let's do it, man.
Definitely. But before we deep dive into that, what we like to do is introduce you to the listeners a little bit. This podcast is branded as like a one-stop shop of helping young up-and-comers trying to break into the entertainment industry. So we love telling the backstory a little bit. So what is your backstory? How did you get into it? Was it something you always wanted to do, or did you just kind of fall into it?
So basically for me, I guess like my first interest in performing came from being a class clown, right? Like,
yeah.
Always cracking jokes, always getting in trouble, always, getting kicked out of class. I was that guy. And later on when, my family hit some financial hard times, we used to watch movies on the weekends instead of having childcare. My dad would basically like set us up at his office and he would go to Blockbuster. We'd get like 5 movies a piece. And I'd spend 2 days back to back in a law office just watching film. And we didn't have any real barrier to what we could watch, like R movies or PG-13. And I was like, we just watched whatever the hell we wanted. Mm-hmm. And I got a real fascination with cinema and filmmaking and eventually acting. So as I got older, I wanted to start being an actor. And the only thing that I had in proximity, because I'm from Minnesota originally, the only thing I had in proximity was these like school plays. And I didn't even know, and they were basically musicals. Now, I had never sung a musical. You know what I'm saying? Like I had not been in choir. And I remember I went to the music teacher and like I had a thing for like alternative metal. Like I loved like singing like Deftones and
hell yeah,
absolutely.
Right? So I felt like I could probably sing, but I'd never really done it. So I remember going in for my first audition and I went to the choir teacher and I said, I don't know how to read music, but I can make this sound. I can make the note if you help me like do it.
Right.
And she goes, well, let's see what you can do. And I remember she worked her hands up the scale. And as she worked her hands up the scale, she goes, oh, well, you're a tenor. And I went, oh, what's that? Right. And anyway, so I had my first audition. I ended up doing some plays in school. And then the other thing that I did was I wrestled. So I basically either wrestled or was in theater constantly. And I had 2 scholarships. I had one for wrestling. I had one for acting.
Nice.
And I inevitably chose the one for acting. Mm-hmm. I went to the College of Santa Fe for a year. I dropped out. I went to the American Conservatory Theater in San Francisco, where I got my first gig, which was an extra role on Gus Van Sant's Milk.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, not bad for day one, right?
No, right. Not bad, man.
And I had this little standard waiter extra gig. And I remember I was so bored in between the setups that I started going and talking to the other extras who were supposed to be the patrons of the restaurant.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I was an overeager theater student. And I went to each table and I'd go, how was the wine tonight? He's like, that's great. Yeah, actually, that's a chef's specialty. We love rolling that out around August. Yeah. How about, you know what? The tiramisu is to die for. How about I go get you some of that? Would you like a fork? Okay. And I'm just playing around. And the first AD takes notice of me, brings me up to Gus and is like, check out this kid. And Gus ended up giving me some dialogue opposite of Tony Award-winning Steve Spinella.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Right? So that was my first little bump up. And then, funny enough, I got recruited to be in a band in LA.
Nice.
And that's what got me out here. And then I just continued grinding
Wow.
ever since.
Oh,
Yeah.
so many things in that little story right there.
I know.
My
I'm sorry. I hope I didn't
goodness.
ramble too long.
No, that was fantastic. One, the escapism, right? I mean, that I think what all filmmakers go into is to create that escape for people, to get away from reality of whatever's going on in their life and be able to dive into it like that. So the fact that you did that is just fantastic. And Blockbuster. We're going to avoid the fact that you called out your age by saying you went to Blockbuster. That's okay.
Still existed, man.
I was right there with you, my man. Right there with
Yeah.
you. So that's fantastic. And the second thing that jumps out at me right there is being eager on set, right? Because we all hear, hurry up and wait, hurry up and wait, hurry up and wait. We're filmmakers, so we know you. We know the pressure of the people during the setup, and you're just, be here by this time, and then you sit around for hours waiting for you to do whatever you're supposed to do. So the fact that you're eager and take initiative and move around the set, that is so fantastic to hear, because I think that's so important to be able to do, man.
Yeah, I think it's good to be able, to fill the space in between. It amazes me how many actors I work with who are in better positions than me. Even they don't necessarily like being on set, or they're burnt out. And I really love. Certainly you can be on a bad set. I'm not gonna say that's never happened.
Sure.
But it's ultimately like it's an expression of creativity. It's this ability to mingle with a bunch of people. It is kind of like a summer camp when you're out there in the trenches and trying to create something. And I find that the more I can be sort of loose and playful, and it keeps me present in a way, and it allows some spontaneity to happen in the work. Sometimes it takes me, when you first get on set, I'm a little stiff because it's a new environment and you got to kind of ease up. And I find some of my best work comes when I'm just able to trust the process and be there and be having fun, and the camera goes, and it's a simple pivot into the character as opposed to pushing it too much.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. There you go. And I mean, coming from a theater background, do you find yourself liking working in front of a camera more rather than performing for the back row? Or is it kind of vice versa? Do you still kind of miss theater a little bit?
I miss theater. I mean, I love them both. It's really about, it's an apples and oranges thing.
Hell yeah.
Right? So like, being on that stage, there's that immediacy, and there's the camaraderie between you and the actors that you have to pull that off. And there's a lot of immediacy that's really great. Being on film is this whole other thing, which is, creating those moments and having those nuanced things really pop in. It's just a different skill set.
Oh, definitely. And I completely understand. I was in theater in high school as well. I was Rolf in The Sound of Music. I like to tell everybody that.
My man.
So, I'm right there with you.
Yeah, totally.
Before he became a gangster.
Yeah, before I became a gangster.
Right. Well, you have levels to everything.
That's right. That's
theater
right.
Gangster, and then you run a money laundering shop.
Yeah, exactly. Through a performing arts center.
That's right. Hey.
Yes.
And we need to know. I mean, the other question left is, whatever happened to the band, man?
Right.
Yeah. So I first got out in the band, and it was called Eclipse.
Okay.
It was a boy band.
Oh boy.
Okay.
So a tenor in the boy band. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And I was supposed to be like the bad boy of the group.
Oh.
And then I was out there. I did that for about 6 months, and here was where it ended. So, falling upon the first day on Milk, right?
Right.
I remember my first day on Milk. I met Sean Penn. And he was introduced to me. He was introduced to me as Harvey, for one. And he was introduced to me, and I remember being so shy and like my face turning red. It was the first time I'd really been in front of somebody that I like really appreciated.
Right.
By extension, 6 months later, or not 6 months later, 6 months after joining the band, I'm in Millennium Dance Studio, which is a very popular studio out here in Hollywood for training that next generation of dancers and pop artists. And I'm doing my rehearsal, and can I swear? Because I
yes.
Oh yeah, man, go for it.
I fucking hate dance. Okay? And I just remember, I would go there, and again, I was a wrestler, so I'm athletic and I can move, but it's just a difference.
Oh yeah.
And I never really had an interest in it. And So I remember we'd wrapped up a session. We were in the back parking lot, and there was a ton of paparazzi around. And there was a big black Lincoln Navigator, and there's paparazzi everywhere, and there's a line outside. And I'm like, boys, what's going on? What's happening? And they're like, oh my God, Britney Spears is here. She's practicing with her dance coach.
Oh shit.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. All right, good for her. All right, cool. I'm out of here.
You're right.
No.
Yeah, whatever.
They're like, we have to wait. We have to watch her leave Millennium, walk across the parking lot, get into her car because they wanted to see her. They were fans.
Right.
And in that moment, I realized this isn't like a judgment I get about who they're fans of versus who I'm a fan of.
Right.
Like, we're all fans. I just realized I wasn't a fan of pop. So I think that at that moment, I realized that the attention I was giving to this thing was attention that could otherwise be redistributed to what I love, you know?
Definitely.
And that's, and I just doubled down on what I was doing. And that's when I started getting some credits and moving the needle a little bit.
Oh, fantastic.
Nice. And they changed their name to Partial Eclipse.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into it, man. The big one I'm so super excited to talk about because you play one of the infamous Bugsy Siegel, Benny Bugsy Siegel, in the new movie Lansky about Meyer Lansky, notorious gangster. Man, I'm super pumped about this one because, I mean, this is basically laying the groundwork for organized crime. There was crime, and then these four guys came involved, and then there's organized crime. They completely made a whole freaking empire. So let's start at the very beginning. How did you find out about it, and what was the audition process like?
So I originally found out about the project through a producer who I knew who had the script. And I asked him to send the script. I want to say it was like in December of 2018 or something like that. It was early on. And I read it. And I came back and I said, yo, who is playing Bugsy? And they were like, somebody else, not you. And I was like, okay. So they already had another actor attached. Well, they were supposed to go into production a fair amount of time later. They're supposed to go into production, and they got backed up.
Right.
And when they got backed up, they lost that actor. So then it became a duel between, me and whoever else was fighting for it get that part. So I sent in multiple auditions. I wrote a letter to the director. I offered to fly to New York. I put my hat in everywhere I could. They were vacillating between me and somebody else. And I ended up edging it out.
Very freaking nice, man. And I mean, doing our research on you, I could tell that you did your research on him, like going back so far as to where how he felt about his mother and how he felt about his Taylor father and how he got the nickname Bugsy because of his eyes and all this stuff. So you really took a real interest in this guy. So what was that like? Were you always like a mafia fan? Because for some reason in America and kind of all over the world, the mafia is kind of pop culture. And I mean, everybody has a little bit of interest in it. So was that how it was for you?
I think, so when I was a kid, I read all the mobster books. I had there's like this there's this book called, what was it called? It was something about like, all of the great mobsters in American history, and sort of an encyclopedia of mobsters and stuff. So I had a mobster enthusiasm as a kid. I obviously loved mobster movies. In fact, Casino is one of my favorite movies.
There you go.
Absolutely,
Hell yeah.
man.
Right, like that's close to a perfect film for me. And I think that I just recognized too the opportunity in that role for me. I mean, I've really spent the last few years trying to take really interesting parts, and season into the older actor and established talent that I really want to be. And there's only so many people who've played Bugsy Siegel.
Right. Exactly, man. And there's some significant names, my friend.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And he's an archetype of a character. So I wanted to have an opportunity to play that kind of larger than life character and give myself that opportunity. And I also I love mobster movies, but I was also just very interested in him. I thought I could bring something unique to that part given my background and given my interest in him. So I guess that's really where.
Well, and I love that, because the mafia has always deeply been intertwined with entertainment as well, right? The Giancanas and the infatuation and mystery around the death of Marilyn and they've all, and Frank Sinatra, God bless him, with Blue Eyes. I mean, they've all been kind of intertwined for so long. So it makes sense that it's in there in pop culture and kind of ingrained in this thing. And kudos to you, man. The one thing that just stuck out to me right there that you said is, knowing your place, knowing where you want to be as an actor and taking roles to get you to that spot. Because sometimes I feel like a lot of actors that are new in the industry, or even that have been around in the industry for a little bit, they don't understand the process of there's a place that you want to try to get to, right? You've got to know your niche. You got to know your character and what you want to do as an actor. And I feel like sometimes they don't get there. So to know that and to be working towards that, that's great, man. That's so outstanding to hear.
Well, thanks, man. Look, that takes time, right?
It does.
I started from that blue collar mentality of like, work begets work. So just work. And I finally got myself into a position in my late 20s where like I realized I wasn't just going to be able to audition myself into my career. Mm-hmm. That's an element of what I do. But, I also started writing and I started producing and I started trying to understand more about the business and trying to, get myself involved in different ways and being more specific about the parts that I was going to take. And even if they were smaller parts in bigger movies, and just bringing something unique to that, because ultimately it's not where I'm at right now or necessarily getting that huge paycheck right now. It's about what are you saying about who you're going to be 10 years from now?
Right.
And make that lasting career.
I love that. I mean, that's really deep. Everybody should take a little note off of that one right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, look, listen, you got to pay bills, you got kids, there's things that pop up. I get that. But, I try really hard to make sure that at this point, what I'm doing speaks to who I believe myself to be and what I want down the line.
Right.
And if it's not in line with that, I really question it.
And it's all about learning and growing, man. Like you said, you learned a little bit about the business side. And I mean, if you stop learning, if you stop growing, you're kind of done. So you've always got to be thinking 5 years ahead, 10 years ahead. And you've got to learn everything that you can learn with every opportunity. And I mean, come on, being on a set with somebody like Sean Penn and then jump into freaking Harvey Keitel and Sam Worthington and these names, you're going to learn something. It doesn't matter what you are on that set. You're going to learn something, right?
Constantly. Whether you're an actor or a writer, it's just, you're always pivoting and growing in everything you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And yeah. Whew.
I know. And getting prepared for the role, did you go back and watch any of the other Bugsy performances? Obviously Warren Beatty, and then the film Mobsters with like Christian Slater and Patrick Dempsey.
Richard Grieco.
Yes.
Richard Grieco. Booker, the other 21 Jump Street guy.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I did. I watched Grieco, I watched Warren, and I watched forgive me, I can't remember his name. He's the kid on Boardwalk Empire.
I know who you're talking about, yeah.
He played Bugsy. Yeah, I watched everybody. I took notes on what I thought, they had done. If I'm honest, and that's not to put anybody else down, but I thought I was going to bring something a little different than some of those other performances.
Absolutely.
I think it's real easy for people to take Ben and, just make him charming or just make him sociopathic.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really interested in making him as human as possible and going, how does a man become capable of that kind of murder and also go home and kiss his wife on the mouth and hang out with his daughters and tell his daughters not to smoke because he thinks it's unbecoming of a lady, which he did.
Yeah.
Right. Who is that man? Who is the man who wakes up and gets his workout and his tan and goes to the YMCA and then also may very well shoot you in the head and be home before dinner time?
Yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness.
It's like there's so much to that. So I really saw everybody else's performance as a reference point, and then I really let it go.
Yeah, completely agreed. I mean, that's kind of what you have to do. I mean, you can see what they did good, but then you're like, but I think I want to make a little twist to that, or I think I want to add something a little bit more. Like you said, I think that is just phenomenal, especially for a real life person. What does that do to an actor? Does that add any extra pressure onto you being a real life person?
Yeah and no. Yes and no. Because, on the one hand, the script has its own version of Bugsy no matter what I write to it. Right. And so in some ways it's still a character like any other character. I guess the benefit is that, and he's not still alive, right? Like if I was playing Ben Siegel and he was still alive.
Oh yeah. he would probably like try to
you
find
know what I'm
the
saying?
set.
Like,
yeah.
I'm hiding my address and put up a PO box.
Hell yeah.
Like,
don't go to Vegas. Like,
don't go to Vegas, right? We will not be staying at the Flamingo.
Hell no.
the
but
hell no.
I think that given the nature, he's a historical figure, and the script has its own life. It's really nice that I could call upon historical facts about him, and not. It's almost like I could be informed about the character, but I'm also living kind of a separate life from the character just by the nature of the script.
Right.
And yeah, so I felt like I had a lot of liberty to experiment.
Well,
Although I will say I got a compliment this last weekend.
Okay.
I went to the Mob Museum for a screening of the film in Las Vegas. They were very kind to have us out to screen the film. The Mob Museum, for anybody who doesn't know, is this beautiful old courthouse in old Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And in the last 10 years, they put together this amazing museum, and it's very intricate. It's really well done. It's 3 levels of all the mob history and talking about how they made money and the old timers and prison stints and it's really phenomenal what they've done. And the head of it is a mob historian, obviously, and they have him on a lot of History Channel and they have him on a lot of shows. Anyway, he came up to me and said, I got to tell you, I've watched everybody. He said, I thought you did the best job of portraying how Ben Siegel probably actually was.
Oh, shit.
That's nice. That's a huge compliment.
Yeah.
Big compliment.
Yeah.
Big compliment.
Well, and I
I'll
think
take that.
I think the reason why is because of what you said, humanizing him and bringing that to it, because I feel like that's how you connect with the audience, especially when you're playing a sociopath or a villain, right? You've got to get the audience to somehow like this guy or care about this guy. Otherwise, there's no connection. There's no point. So to make him human and remind people, hey, he was a father. He did go home and kiss the girls. He was a husband. That's the way to do it. And I think because you did that is why you got the compliment and why your portrayal is going over so well, man.
No, that's great, man. Thank you. I hope I brought some of that to it, because that's definitely what the goal was.
Of course. And I'm just going to let my mobster geek flag fly real quick. And if I get too far out there, please reel me back in. So I think it's very interesting how Lucky Luciano, Frank Costello, Bugsy Siegel, and Meyer Lansky all basically invented the National Crime Syndicate all together, all on one platform. They were all kind of equal in some sense. But for historians' sake and for America's pop culture sake, I feel like we give so much credit to Italian Americans and not enough credit to the Jewish Americans who are right behind them counting all of the Italians' money. So I just feel like that's so interesting on why it's like that, because doing more research before we got into this, I was doing more research on Meyer Lansky, and he was known as the Italian mob's accountant. But in all actuality, he was right up there with them. I don't know. It was just so interesting to think about. What do you think about that?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the fascination with the Code of Omerta.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So the Jews had a different, it was a different thing. But when you're talking about the Sicilians who came over and had a real quote unquote honor system from the old country, the original Black Hand that came over in the turn of the century, and those guys, there's this idea about the Italian mafia, which is the honor and the rituals and the process of crime that I think really fascinates people.
Yep.
Whereas the Jewish mobsters were quite practical.
Right.
They didn't have to go by, these sort of honor systems and the same thing. They did business and they whatever. And I just think that they maybe get a little less credit or a little less, attention to them because they lack that strict code that the Sicilians had. But who knows?
Well, I'm gonna give the Jewish guys some credit, okay? Because Jewish gangsters built Hollywood. All right, let's not forget the fact that there's no film industry, there's no golden age of Hollywood. There's so you're exactly right. They had no code, and you didn't need a code to build Hollywood, right?
Totally. In fact, it's probably preferable.
Exactly. You can't lock young actresses into contracts and pay them nothing if you got a code, man.
Totally. You can't do that if you're running by a code.
No, man. So, all right.
That's so freaking funny.
Same with Vegas.
Exactly.
Responsible for building of Las Vegas.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. But, we're trying something new on the podcast, trying to have a little bit more fun with our guest. And so, is there an embarrassing story that you were so embarrassed at the time, but have lived through it and are able to laugh about now, that happened on set or happened on stage that you were just terrified, mortified about, but are able to tell about it now?
Oh God, an embarrassing story on set or on stage. God,
I know, right?
Let me think on that. Certainly in my personal, I'm always so terrified of getting fired. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
I try and keep the embarrassing moments to a minimum. Let me see. I'm just trying to think.
Hey, you didn't walk up to Sean Penn and call him Spicoli. So I mean,
yeah, you did good.
Right,
You did
this is a solid
good
start.
job right there. Yeah.
Solid start. You know what? I don't know if I have one that's embarrassing. God, I wish, guys. I'm so sorry. Do you have a backup question?
It's all good. It's all good.
I'm trying to think.
What's
What did I do that was really embarrassing?
what's one of your most memorable moments on set?
There you go.
Well, I suppose most recently, oh man. All right, so I did this movie Swing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that, was a bunch of guys in the boat, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's Alexander Ludwig and Charles Melton and Alex McNichol and a host of us. It's a really fun film. Michael Shannon's our coach. And I remember we were shooting this scene, and they had us in this giant tub that the art department had set up so that we could simulate rowing opposite of a green screen for a lot of it. A lot of it we're actually in the water, but a lot of it we have to shoot on the green screen.
Sure.
And Michael Shannon's on the boat next to us, and and again, CGI, whole thing, there's a green screen behind him, and he's doing his lines, and we're supposed to be rowing as he's doing his lines. And I won't say who, but as we were rowing in the boat and Mike's delivering his lines, one of our actors ripped the loudest fart.
Oh no!
Fucking bomb,
Uh,
right? And just smashed the side of that bow. I tell you what, and he farted. So, and Mike, who is a very serious individual, he must have laughed for like 5 minutes straight. Like he just was dying. It cut everything for like 5 minutes. They reset it, was whatever. But I mean, that was great. That was pretty memorable.
Hell yeah, man!
Getting Michael Shannon to laugh because somebody ripped a fart.
Right?
So your most memorable moment had to do with someone else's most embarrassing moment. That's
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You see how you work that
Most
together?
embarrassing and my most memorable.
There you go.
I
Well
mean,
done.
I suppose meeting Sam Worthington was really great. He was really supportive.
Oh yeah, sure.
He came out and he was like, "Wow!" It was funny because he was like, "I came out. I said, hey Sam, how you doing?" And he goes, "Oh, hey mate, yeah. I've been looking up your work, mate. Like I've been seeing some of the stuff you've been doing, mate. It's really." I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Like time out.
He's like, "Yeah, you're great." I'm like, "No, I'm not. You're awesome. That's nice. They're so nice."
Oh my
shit,
gosh,
that's
yeah.
so cool.
And then he went and he said, if you guys are anything like what I was when I was your age, you're gonna kill the second half of this movie. You're gonna kill the because the movie's kind of shot in the past tense. And
Right.
And he said you guys are gonna kill it because I was such a monster when I was your age. That I know you guys are bringing that kind of stuff to it. So
That's so great.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Yeah,
great
it
to
was
hear
cool.
too. Yeah, humbling experience,
cool.
man.
Seriously.
Listen, this has been absolutely a blast. I mean, I could literally sit here and talk to you about mafia like shit all day, bro. Like literally all day. But I mean, that just opens up the door for you to come back on the show and come back and promote anything else you have.
Yeah, because you got a lot going
I love
on,
it.
man.
Oh my
I do.
goodness.
I have a lot of good stuff going on right now. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, Zach Braff, Logan, he's
Yeah.
he's got a project
Oh.
with Zach Braff.
I know. I love Zach
Yeah,
Braff.
yeah. That's called Schreiber.
Yeah.
That's a comedy, and that's a great show. Man, that cast is banger. So that's again Michael Shannon, Kate Hudson,
Yeah.
Don Johnson,
What?
Jimmy
Yeah.
Simpson, and Zach Braff.
Hell yeah.
Woo!
Gonna have to come
That's
back
a
on one for
monster
yeah.
I mean, seriously, bro, you are slaying. You're killing it, man.
Yeah, that's a great one, man. I end up playing Mike Shannon's agent in that one, and it's a really fun movie. It's very funny. That was a real treat to be on. So between Swing and that at the end of the year, it's a really great kickoff. So
Oh, dude, yeah. Well, we
we'll see
will
what happens.
most definitely have to have you back on to talk about it all because, I mean, it's just fantastic. And you didn't know, but Logan's already booking his thing to the crime museum or the
Yeah,
mob
exactly.
museum in Vegas.
I'm going
Yeah.
Going
He's
for
like,
it.
I'm
where was
telling you,
that?
man.
Hold on.
Yep.
So
I'm
good.
telling you, dude, it was so cool out there. I did not know what to expect when I came out, and I was really impressed. They're great people. It's actually a really cool museum. So
Awesome.
Hell
it'll be a lot
yeah.
of fun.
Learn something new every single day.
Hell yeah. Well, what we like to
Yes,
do at
sir.
the end of the interview is wrap up by, like we said, like Logan said at the top, it's really about, so we have a lot of listeners that are up and comers and trying to break into the industry or have just broken into the industry. So we always like to ask our guests a piece of advice that you would pass along to those, and not necessarily acting advice, just because, like you said, you've learned some other areas and different things. So any advice that you would have for any up and comers and maybe a pitfall pitfall or two to avoid when they're trying to do it?
So I basically restarted my career at 27, 28 years old. At 27, 28 years old, I'd always had an agent and I'd always been able to audition. And at 27 and 28, I lost my agent and manager. And for the first time, I wasn't going out for auditions. And I thought, how will I ever work? Because nobody's going to give me a job. I can't audition and I can't, oh man, what's going on? Well, I got really committed to making my own work. I got really committed to writing my own projects, networking my own projects, producing a film. I produced a film in 2019. I learned a ton about it. What I can tell up and comers is that, I talk to actors all the time and I'll say to them, how do you make a movie? And they'll go, with a camera. And I go, no, I mean, explain to me the business that you're in. How do you make a movie? Talk to me about getting the equity piece, the financing, attachments, all those, whatever. And people have no idea. So I guess what I would try and tell people is, educate yourself about this business so that if you ever run into a tough time, you can create an opportunity for yourself. And that's the thing that I would really encourage artists to do. If you look at some of the big deals that are happening for talent in this town right now, they're actor, writer, producer combos.
Yep.
There is a real hunger and thirst for ideas and people that can do them. And it's one of the better ways to keep yourself working in this town is, to always to be able to understand all of the elements around making stuff.
Absolutely.
So not just acting in it.
I love that. It's so good.
Without doubt.
Exactly. And it's all about social media now. So where can everybody follow you? Because everybody should be following you.
Yes. So you can follow me at Cade Brigade.
Nice.
And on Twitter.
All right.
And I'll be happy to see you guys, show up. I'll say hi.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, and look, I'm already thinking, I'm just thinking, we have to have you back on. We do a top 5 segment on the show every week, too. And I'm thinking top 5 gangster films, and we have to have you back on to participate.
Beautiful. Let's do it. Let's talk
man. That would be fantastic. Listen, man, thank you so much for coming on. This has been a really entertaining chat, man. And just open invite anytime you want to come back and pitch anything, or just come on and shoot the shit, bro. We'd be happy to have you back. And it's been fantastic, man.
Hey, buddy, thank you so much. Dustin, Logan, you guys are awesome.
Yep. You take care now. We'll talk to you, man.
All right, brother. Talk to you later.
See ya. Have a good night. So good, man. So freaking good. I got deep. I let my mobster flag fly.
Look, I have no doubt that the two of you could sit down and talk for like a gazillion hours about it, and I think it would be fantastic. There might be a documentary right there,
right,
like seriously. That. And then I could, on the flip side, go into about how the Jews built Hollywood.
I know, right? Like all of it.
So entertaining. And what I really like, though, and what's really important for all the fans to know, how intelligent this man was.
Seriously.
And his how he approaches to get things done, guys. I hope you were listening, because that was some seriously great advice throughout.
Agreed. Thank you again, David, for coming on the show. All right, now it's time for the top 5 segment, and oh man, it's a great one this week, I gotta say. I'm just...
Because of the hair?
No, not because of the damn hair. It's top 5 Brad Pitt films. Yeah, because he's a great damn actor.
He is. I like Brad Pitt.
Okay.
I like Brad Pitt.
What's in the box? I don't know because I haven't seen it.
I can't believe this. I cannot believe this.
I know it's in the box because it was like a social media thing for like so long, about 4 years ago.
So spoiled.
So it's like, why even watch the damn thing now? But anyway,
no, you have to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna happen one of these days. But yes, top 5 Brad Pitt films, and number 5 for me, even though I hate both of them for breaking up a perfect marriage, but also I actually really like this film. It gets a lot of heat, but I actually really love Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie kicking some ass as like double agent spies who try to kill each other but then try to get hunted down by their own spy agencies. I think it's a great concept, and yeah, they look great together, sadly. Sorry, Jen.
I know. Poor Jen.
Yeah.
All right. My number 5 is a rollover from last week. Number 5, top 5 Tom Cruise films. This one for top 5 Brad Pitt films on the list as well. Interview with the Vampire, because really you can't have that movie without one or the other of them, because they star together in it as lovers and vampires. So there you go. Obviously, I told you all about this movie last week with that top 5, so you know what the movie's about. You know what's all, and I mean, Brad Pitt's performance and his eerily creepy fascination with a young Kirsten Dunst in there is like really creepy and makes it worth watching. Just it's a great performance. Number 5, Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah, and number 4 for me is lesser known. Not a lot of people know about it, but I mean, it's a great cast. Jason Statham, Brad Pitt, obviously, but Snatch, where he's basically this freaking gypsy. Just bounces around places, and he's a gypsy boxer. He can knock anybody the fuck out. He can kill him with one punch, and you don't understand a damn word he's saying. But he does it great, and if you haven't seen this movie, it's really a good watch. It's a lot of fun, and I actually think Don Cheadle is also in it. So,
yeah, I think that's correct.
Yeah, great movie.
It is a great movie. My number 4 is also, I think, a lesser-known one that didn't get a lot of play, but I thought was one of the better dramatic roles that Brad Pitt's ever had. I'm talking about Fury, where he's like the tank commander in World War II. This is an intense film with an outstanding cast, but that he leads brilliantly. It's kind of like this evolution of his character through this journey, and I mean, it's an amazing story. If you like war movies and you like heavy drama and you like Brad Pitt, you need to see Fury.
Agreed.
I mean, I can't say that enough. It's, like I said, lesser known, I feel like, but it's worth your watch if you see it. Fury.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, number 3 for both of us, if you're talking about the top 5, don't talk about the top
That's
5.
right. We can't tell you what number 3 is because the first rule is you can't
talk about it. Oh, man. But obviously, his most memorable performance, and we both have him at our number 3 spot, Fight Club.
Oh, my God.
So good.
Him and Edward Norton are just fucking
so good,
brilliant together in this. It might be their best performances. I'm just gonna say it.
I know
they're so fucking brilliant together the way they play. And any movie that has Meatloaf as Bitch Tit Bob, how can you not love it? Meatloaf as Bitch Tit Bob. Come on, man.
So good.
It's epic. Fight Club, man. I just fucking love that movie.
I loved it so much that I used that the rules of Fight Club as a monologue for theater one time. And, and the directors were like, fuck, who's this kid? And I'm like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so you're number 2? Because my number 3 was also Fight Club.
Yeah, so my number 2 is Ocean's 11, because we don't like to talk about the ones after that. Ocean's 11, obviously a star-studded cast, another Don Cheadle film with George Clooney, Brad Pitt, Matt Damon. The list goes on and on, guys. Julia Roberts, like, this is such a good movie. Not the original Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack, but you know, I mean, it's a great follow-up. It's a great remake, and you guys know we don't like remakes, but this one, it's pretty damn good. And like I said, his chemistry with other A-list actors is like untouchable. Like him, he's just amazing. And I mean, you just wait till my number 1. You'll see why.
I can't argue any of what you just said.
Yeah.
So my number 2 is, I love this movie for a gazillion different reasons, but my number 2 is Moneyball. I thought it's a brilliant film. It's a brilliant story of the telling of how teams were built using statistics, and it's just the intricate detail of the story of the Oakland A's and the different things that go through it is absolutely amazing. But then you're talking about the fucking cast. Brad Pitt, right? Jonah Hill, Philip Seymour Hoffman, God bless his soul. I mean, such a phenomenal cast in this film that all play so well together. And of course, this is the film. Jonah Hill was so inspired by Brad Pitt that's when he lost all that fucking weight and got in shape. He's like, fuck, I gotta be like Brad fucking Pitt. Like, so there's the backstory behind the making of the movie that makes it awesome and everything. So how can you not like it, man? Moneyball.
Agreed. Another one of those performances where they play so well off of each other.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, that scene when they're in the office and they're like trying to make a trade.
Yes.
And he's like telling Jonah Hill what to say on the phone, and then Jonah's like, it's so good. It's such a great movie.
It is. It's fantastic.
My number 1, this is by no surprise. Everybody should have known when they heard the top 5, Brad Pitt in this film. So, of course, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino's latest film adaptation. Of course, him and Leo, their freaking dynamic back and forth is absolutely freaking amazing. I mean, the last fight scene is by far the best thing in the entire movie, but it's such a good story-driven film that's a love letter to Hollywood and the summer of love and crazy-ass shit that happened that didn't need to happen, but is now, like, also pop culture phenomena. But yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, one of my all-time favorite movies, honestly.
Oh, mine too, and it would have been number one at my list if not for my number one. I mean, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I love old Hollywood. I love the culture and the story behind old Hollywood. Margot Robbie,
So
Quentin Tarantino.
good, yeah.
I mean, Spencer Garrett. How can you not love the movie? It's fantastic. My number one though, all-time favorite Brad Pitt movie, and it's one of my all-time favorite movies. Period. What's in the Box?
Yeah.
7. Oh my God. Morgan Freeman, fucking Brad Pitt, Gwyneth Paltrow, Kevin Spacey, who was never actually named or credited in the film as the bad guy, oddly enough, in a weird kind of, because that was keeping of the secret of the film. You weren't ever really sure who it was. Was it Kaiser Soze? Who is Kaiser Soze? No, wrong movie, different movie. 7 though, just fucking brilliant. About basically this young cop who teams up with Morgan Freeman's close to retirement cop. He's married, Gwyneth Paltrow, and they're chasing this serial killer, the 7 deadly sins, and he's killing these people by using the sins against them. And Kevin Spacey is just fucking twisted as shit in this movie.
And in real life, obviously.
Yeah, and in real life. And I'm pretty sure everybody's seen it, and I'm not blowing it for you because, like you said, it was social media everywhere. Spacey's character basically kills Brad Pitt's wife, Gwyneth Paltrow, and puts her head in a box and makes him chase it down. And Morgan Freeman kind of sees it and knows, and Brad doesn't know, but he knows, and that's where what's in the box, man? What's in the box? And he opens it, and it's his wife's head.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. But, I mean, it's a brilliant fucking movie. And an unknown, I think, if I'm not mistaken, really young, if not teenager, writer just sold that script.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it's just fucking amazing backstory as to how it got made. And there's a scene in there where Brad Pitt's all of a sudden wearing a cast, and they had to write it into the film because he actually got hurt on set.
Oh, shit.
So they had to write it into the film that now he has a cast. Oops. Just a brilliant movie, just from filmmaking standpoint. I'm surprised you haven't seen it yet because from a filmmaker standpoint, the way it's shot and the editing and the cuts and everything is so good. Put it on that list of yours that your filmmaker, watch.
Yeah.
It's brilliant, man.
Yeah, my film lesson, whatever the
Yes.
fuck I'm doing.
My number one, 7.
So good, man. So good. I mean, I know everybody has a favorite Brad Pitt film.
Oh, yeah.
So please let us know over social media, over the comment section. We love it. We love the fan interaction, and we love Brad Pitt. Now heading over to the box office recap. Number 1 is my boy King James with Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Came in at $31.7 million. Have you gotten a chance to watch it yet?
I have not, but it's on the agenda.
Yes, it's so good, man. It's so good. So many great references for nowadays.
It's on the agenda for this weekend.
Number 2, Black Widow at $26.3 million. Number 3 was The Escape Room, The Tournament of Champions with $8.8 million. Number 4 was Fast 9, F9 with The Fast Saga with $7.6 million. Number 5 was The Boss Baby, Family Business, $4.2.
See, this is very interesting because, like what we were talking about, of course, the 26.3, the drastic 67% drop, right? But number 1 and number 2 were separated by less than $5 million.
Yeah.
And yet everybody's praising, woo, it made the Space Jam, and it was less than $5 million apart, and it was the drastic downfall of Marvel. That's how weird the box office is right now, right? Like, I mean, normally a $5 million difference between number 1 and number 2, nobody's blinking a fucking eye.
Right.
Like, I mean, I don't know, man.
Well, I mean, in consideration, with it making almost $100 million, $80 million, I would predict it in normal times to at least make around 40. And
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
So, I mean, it has definitely, I think, the Disney Plus thing definitely.
Oh, yeah. Because I think,
off.
the normal Marvel drop is like 30% from weekend 1 to weekend 2. It's like not anywhere near
Not
67.
60, yeah.
So.
Crazy shit, man. Crazy shit. But new movies coming out this weekend that you should go see. The Nest, The Man with the Answers, How It Ends, Old, Snake Eyes, and Joe Bell.
Yes.
Just went and saw Joe Bell and Snake Eyes. Both highly recommend. You would like Snake Eyes. I mean, I know you weren't that excited about it.
I know, but I'm seeing both of them this weekend.
Yeah,
I'm just going to say.
It was really good. It was really good. Henry Golding in his first ever action role, and he did a really good job. I think this is going to really jumpstart a new G.I. Joe franchise to make them even better. in my opinion. And like I said, I really freaking enjoyed it. And I'm going around seeing on social media, not a lot of people didn't enjoy it. And with Joe Bell, I just feel like that didn't get enough promotion. And it's a great freaking film, Oscar worthy, in my opinion. Mark Wahlberg just fucking knocked it out of the park. But go see that one. And the one I'm not interested in is Old. The one they're on an island and they like the whole duration of their life is in a day.
Yeah, they aged like rapidly or
Yeah.
something like that. M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
I got to be honest with you. I don't see the genius there. I mean, I loved The Sixth Sense, but he really just has not knocked it out of the park since then.
Yeah.
I mean, what was that one with Mel Gibson and Joaquin Phoenix with the aliens when they wore the tin?
Yeah,
that one was kind of creepy too. That one was okay. I'll give you 2. I'll give you Sixth Sense in that one. But the rest, I don't know.
And let's not even talk about Avatar. I mean, you guys know I'm an anime fan, so let's not even talk about it.
Yep.
Movies you can still go see: The Forever Purge, A Quiet Place Part 2, Roadrunner, a film about Anthony Bourdain, which I heard is really good.
Yep.
Cruella, and Pig.
Oh, there you go.
IMDb Pro top trending segment. You guys know we love this app. It's such an amazing thing. What were we gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say like when we do this segment, for anybody that was worried about the 67% drop, or anybody worried that Marvel was in trouble. No, they're not. They're fucking not.
No.
Like,
obviously, top trending movie is Black Widow. Top trending TV show is Loki. And the top trending star is Florence Pugh, which is the sister, right?
in Black Widow.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Yeah, I think Marvel's okay.
They're fine. They're fine. Well, anyway, guys, thank you so much for getting crazy with us on episode 167 of Inside the Crazy Ant Farm. We got to thank our guest one more time, David Cade, for coming on the show, for being such an amazing guest and helping me deep dive into my mafioso shit.
We really do need to have him back on for a top 5 mafia movies.
Agreed.
That would be so fantastic.
Agreed. Be sure to follow him on social media. He's hilarious.
Cade Brigade, right?
Yes.
Cade Brigade.
Cade Brigade. And you guys know you can follow the company and the podcast on social media at Crazy Ant Media on all social media platforms and at ITCAFpodcast on all social media platforms. And while we're at it, you guys know you can follow us both personally on social media. Myself at JLoFantastic and
At Crazy Ant Guy 1970.
That's right. That's right. And you guys know you can subscribe to this podcast anywhere you listen to your podcast. Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Stitcher, and so much more. If you're watching this video on YouTube, we freaking appreciate it. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell for all the latest and greatest notifications, and so you can stay up to date with everything that we're doing here at Crazy Ant Media, and so you can see all the latest crazy videos. But before we reflect on this episode, be sure to head over to our website, www.crazyantmedia.com, where you can start rocking the latest and greatest Crazy Ant Media gear. Like we said at the top of the show, next promotion is July 26th. It's going to be free shipping on literally everything we have in our shop, so get it now while supplies last. Literally 3 days away, so get it while you can.
Yes.
Honestly, man, I mean, the whole show, it was absolutely amazing. Talking about any of the superhero stuff, that obviously that's so fun. Marvel had a lot of good news, and Warner Brothers had a lot of good news too. And I'm super proud of the streaming service platform, HBO Max, for finally. I mean, they're getting there, man. They're getting there. Obviously, not as much as Disney Plus, but I mean, they just need more family content, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think the DC Universe stuff is going to help with
It's going to,
right? That's going to bring a lot to it. So I think they're going to be okay. And I'd like to give a huge shout out to Disney and their family fold of like Hulu and all that, because when Bob Iger said, let's get this diversity shit under control, we're doing a bad job, we need to put the money where the mouth is and actually do this shit, and boy have they. You know, they have really stepped up with not only the African American, but the Asian and female and indigenous, and just they have gone the extra mile, and they're doing it on all of their platforms. So kudos to them for really up in the game in there. Much needed, and I like what that Iger followed through on it, man.
Agreed. I mean, it's been a great freaking thing to see all of this inclusivity, whether it be race or sexual preference or just all this shit, bringing awareness to our past history where America is fucked up in some sense, and I mean bringing awareness to mental health and all these amazing things that we need to be talking about, and all these amazing things that we talk about in our short film deadlines. So be sure to check out our IMDb profile of our short film deadlines.
Yes.
But of course, we got to thank the one and only who's gonna come on the show one day. Just wait on it.
Oprah!